for making this meeting possible. We are here today to officially launch the Technical Cooperation Program between ECOWAS and Food and Agriculture Organization. I am delighted to note that our deliberations will focus on gender response to national and regional agricultural investment plans for meeting the zero hunger challenge in ECOWAS member states. The meeting will be held in an interactive manner, and I will urge you all to share views and provide recommendations that will contribute towards the implementation of the African Union Agenda 2063 and the 2030 Global Sustainable Development Agenda. Today's agenda reflects the willingness to engage constructively from every angle and to take head-on some of the more complicated questions that hampered the realization of the Millennium Development Goals for women and girls in Africa. I shall greatly appreciate hearing your unique perspectives. The increasingly unacceptable high levels of poverty and hunger faced by most African countries require a comprehensive approach to the development and implementation of social and economic policies to reduce poverty and hunger, to promote economic activity, growth, and sustainable development. Any significant regional development framework should serve as a rallying point for strengthening our resolve to develop our continent and unite its people. The Technical Cooperation Program between ECOWAS and FAO should serve as a benchmark for sustainable livelihood. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your participation is much needed in the ongoing negotiations of the CSW 60 agreed conclusions to ensure that the outcomes reflect a clear understanding of the issues. Our concerns should focus on the main theme of the session, especially those that affect our continent. The purpose of the session will not be achieved if the final document appears problematic for nations to implement, particularly by introducing responsibilities that could conflict with national outlooks, judicial and legislative actions, customary practices, and religious beliefs. In our reflection of the agreed conclusions, it is imperative that the following general principles guide the context within which to draw up the outcome positions. 1. Reaffirm the MDGs and the need for the full implementation of the Agenda 2063 for Africa and the 2030 Global Development Agenda, especially as they relate to women and girls. Identify gaps in the implementation of the MDGs at the national, sub-regional, and regional levels as they concern the rights of women and children and as they affect their empowerment, especially in the specific areas of health, education, poverty, and inclusiveness. Make suggestions that will address these gaps and challenges while we implement the Agenda 2063 and the Agenda 2030 respectively. Encourage global partnerships to speed up implementation of the relevant SDG targets related to women and girls, particularly in collaboration with governments and supporting organizations such as international development and finance institutions, etc. Emphasize the unavoidable fact that conflicts have impacted negatively on the realization of the MDGs, especially for women and children, and that the restoration of peace and accelerated post-conflict reconstruction is key to meeting SDGs in such societies. The UN and its agencies, such as the UN Women, the Peace Building Commission, UNDP, UNFPA, etc., have a critical role to play in this. Gender equality and empowerment of women should be pursued within parameters that have been agreed to and supported by relevant General Assembly and Security Council resolutions. Other initiatives like the Beijing Platform for Action, the Millennium Declaration, the Copenhagen Declaration, and CSW agreed outcomes could also be cited to strengthen the framework. State the progress made at national and regional levels in the area of women empowerment and monitoring of levels of implementation at both national and regional levels. It is my hope that after listening to the specific discussion that will take place here today, you will actively participate in the CSW session by reflecting recommendations that are critical to our development, particularly as they relate to women and girls. Let us all be guided by the decisions reached in Addis Ababa in February on the African Common Position. Thank you all, and I look forward to a fruitful discussion today. Thank you.